Hello, and welcome to another episode of Break the Cycle with me, your host, Joshua Smith. Hope everyone's having a wonderful Tuesday. I certainly am, because I get 2 days off of work. Coming up Wednesday and Thursday, which is always a welcomed vacation from 12-hour shifts. But we got a great show for you guys tonight. Let's start off with some sponsors. Of course, we have TopLobster.com, the man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle, where you can get awesome gear, hand-drawn gear and custom gear at 10% discount by using BTC at checkout. I'm not wearing Break the Cycle tonight. I'm wearing the physical removal shirt from Hoppyin.org that I meant to wear when I did the show with Jared from Hoppyin.org, but I couldn't find it at the time because we have 7 kids, so we lose shit all the time. And, of course, executive producer of the show, AnthemPlanning.com. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. They're doing a wonderful job that the government has sucked at historically for a long time, much cheaper and much more efficiently. Emergency and crisis planning. Amazing people. I will have a new ad for them tomorrow's show. Since I'm off work, I got some time to work on things, including editing my fiance's content now that she's starting a YouTube channel. So if you guys are, crunchy organic moms, or you have crunchy organic mom wives or girlfriends, make sure to send them towards Julia Annalise's channel, because it's going to be right up their alley in content, I promise. But guys, we got a really nice show for you tonight. My friend, she is a mom, homeschooling mom, contractor for the Mises Institute. She is Mrs. Is it Mrs.? Miss? I don't even know. I don't even know how you're supposed to do that anymore.
We'll just go with Natalie.
Yeah, we'll just go with Natalie. Danelishen, right? Did I say it right? I always mess that one up.
You said that right.
All right. Yeah, score points for me. So how you doing? How you been?
I'm okay. How are you tonight?
Oh, I can't complain. I can't complain at all. Why don't we start off with your story? A lot of people follow you. You just hit 30,000 Twitter followers, which is it's wild. I mean, that's a hard feat. That's 30,000 people. I mean, some of them are probably bots. I mean, that's how it works. I got some too, but 30,000 people following you. That's wild. But what's your story? How did you get here? How did you become this, Mises-inspired libertarian, or whatever we're calling ourselves these days? I don't know. What was your journey?
It always starts with Ron Paul with most people, right?
Sure.
That's how it started with me. It was actually back in 2005 when I found Ron Paul, and then he started to run in 2007, and I was part of the 2008, campaigning for Ron Paul, and I did the 2012 as well. But in I think it was about 2005, I started reading Mises Institute books. And it kind of took off from there, and I got into Austrian economics along the way, and Ron Paul showed me that way. And I worked for the Mises Institute at the building from 2008 to 2010, and then I left the Mises Institute, and I was rehired in 2014 as a contractor, doing graphics and stuff. And yeah, it's just been a wild ride with all of that stuff over the years. So I mean, it's been fun to get to meet Ron Paul, and I just met Rand Paul this year, and I'm hopefully going to be seeing Thomas Massey this week. So I mean, it's all these people that have inspired me over the years, and and Lou Rockwell, God, I can't thank that guy enough. I love him just for creating the Mises Institute and everything, and so all these people have helped me over the years, and actually you can see them behind me.
Oh yeah,
I put them all up on my wall.
I see Jeff Deist up there. I see Hans Hermann Hoppe. I see Ron Paul.
There's Hoppe, and Ron Paul, Carol, Walter Block.
Yeah. I'm a big Walter Block fan. He's probably, I don't talk about Walter enough, and I'm trying to get Walter on the show, but he's such a boomer when it comes to emails. I sent him an email. So in 2017, I reached out to Walter Block. I had interviewed him once for Think Liberty. I reached out to him to get an endorsement for chair of the Libertarian Party, and he sent me a really nice endorsement with a little word blurb. He's just like a really nice guy. I don't know.
He's a sweetheart.
He's like one of the nicest guys. So when I went to email him to get him on the show, because I know he doesn't have any social media or anything, I went to email him to get him on the show. I just went back to the thread that I had with his email in it, and I sent it to him, and he sent me another endorsement 4 years later because he thought I was resending him the endorsement. I was like, oh, I love you, Walter. You're the man. But he's also got one of them.
He just turned 80.
That's wild.
He's sharp for 80.
Oh, very.
I am that. Like at 80, I want to be that sharp, but like really fit. That's
Right.
what I'm hoping.
Yeah. I have given up on the fit train mostly. I would like to get back into the gym just for my mental sanity, but
Yeah.
I'm a dad of 7. I don't got a lot of time.
Yeah. I'm a mom of 3, and I have 2 teenagers and a toddler, so it's a lot. I know how that goes, and I homeschool them as well, so that's
Sure.
crazy. So it's like I never have time to sleep, let alone work out. But I'm trying to fit it in now. I'm being a good girl. I lost a bunch of weight because I caught COVID, so it's like I need to keep that off and get skinnier.
Sure. Yeah.
That's my goal.
Well, you've been very, very outspoken. Huh? Go ahead. No, you go ahead. You go.
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm very tall for a girl, so it's kind of like not many people know how much I actually weigh, so it helps.
How tall are you?
Go ahead. I'm 5'8".
Oh yeah.
So and I wear high heels all the time, so it's like I'm 5'11".
Sure. Well, I'm 6'2.5". I throw the half in there, but I think I've probably shrank that half now that I'm getting close to 40. I think like the half is coming back off. But I used to be close to 6'3". It was really nice. But yeah, you've been really outspoken on the COVID thing, as any good Mises person would be or should be.
Yeah. The Mises Institute was 100% solid on that. I have to give that to them, the whole staff. They kept events going throughout the year. They didn't require masks at events. And they're not so much anti-vaccine, but they're anti-vaccine mandates. So people should still be able to, have a choice. Get it, don't get it. Just don't mandate it.
Sure.
So that's something that I loved about them as well. So
yeah, absolutely. But thankfully they're not Cato, but. So, oops, sorry for the jab. No, but you were really outspoken against the COVID mandates and just the all around tyranny that they've been throwing at us for the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And then you just recently caught COVID, and it was.
I did.
You're pretty open about it.
It was horrible.
Yeah, what was that like?
It was horrible. Yeah, I was in the hospital twice. I had to get fluids. I had to get antibiotics. I had to get steroids. I had to get an inhaler. I'm still actually using the inhaler, and I'm still taking zinc and vitamin D every day, large amounts of vitamin D every week. I'm taking like 100,000 IU vitamin D just to keep it going. I actually did just pick up a virus bug as well, and I had a UTI. So it's been like
one
since
after
May.
the other.
One thing after the other, and I'm just like, I'm ready for my body to just be healthy now.
Yeah, I feel you.
I do know that it's because I am overweight that I had major issues with COVID. And that's why I'm kind of like, if they didn't push so much the vaccines and, the free donuts with the fucking vaccines, excuse my language, I don't know if I can swear.
Oh, totally fine.
But, if they stopped pushing the free donuts and shit, then everybody would start to get healthy. That's what we need to do. Get people healthy instead of, pushing a fix for one thing after the other. Now, I'm immune compromised.
True.
I was born with it. It's genetic. I'm functioning with half a kidney. I don't have a gallbladder. So I know I knew I would get COVID bad, but I still spoke out against, these measures because it's tyranny.
Sure.
Straight up tyranny. What they're doing, especially in Australia right now. I mean, but we're looking at Australia and people are like, oh my gosh, that's so horrible. But if you look at what happened, to us a year ago, it was pretty much the same thing. People were getting locked up in hotels if they had COVID. We were locked in our homes. We couldn't go to the grocery store. We had to follow, arrows in the grocery store like cattle. So, we had that. And now people are looking at Australia and it's like, oh, that's horrible. Well, we had that a year ago.
Right.
So, and they can do this again. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's the ratchet effect. The government takes a little bit of your freedom away and, they promise to give some back, but they never do. They just keep ratcheting it up. So, eventually we'll be under a dictatorship. That is my opinion on it.
I would argue that we are already under a dictatorship. But yeah, I think that, Tom Woods had around the same thing.
We still have the illusion of voting.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's quite there.
The illusion. Exactly. But don't say that on YouTube because they might kick you off, No. But yeah, Tom had quite the same experience. I think he had it pretty bad. And, it was funny because I'm in that Fakertarians group on Facebook with all the shitty, regime libertarians and the blue pills and all these losers. And it was like they were celebrating it like he was going to die, first of all.
Yeah.
And they kept saying, you know, well, if he doesn't die, I hope he comes out of the hospital, you know, with a new lease on this stuff and isn't, you know, blah, 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 blah. And the second Tom was ready to talk about it, he opened up and said, listen, yes, I had COVID really bad. No, I don't agree with your stupid fucking mandates and all this bullshit. And he immediately came back out like, you know, swinging. And that's why we like the Mises the Mises Institute.
Yeah, that's what you have to do. I mean, I had death threats. I had people hoping I would get COVID and die. I had one person say I should be killed for making a Twitter post because it was that big lady with the McDonald's bag and she's like, put on a mask for your health. That I posted that and I got so much hate for it. My inbox was full. And people were like, do you want to kill your grandma? Blah, blah, blah. Well, my grandma actually did catch COVID. She did die. And she was already dying of cancer, though.
True.
And I think there's a lot of people who don't understand that life is a cycle. You're not going to live forever.
Right.
You're not. And I understood that. And I was actually, when my grandma was passing this year, it was early this year. I was one of the lucky ones who actually got to hold my grandma's hand while she was passing. I got 3 days with my grandma after not seeing her for a full year before that.
Sure.
So that was rough, though, hearing that, because there were a lot of people who they didn't get to, you know, be with their loved one as they were dying. And, you know, I don't understand that really. People should be able to make that choice to, you know, take that risk. And that's basically with everything in life. You should be able to take the risk to go into a store without a mask. You should be able to take the risk to go see your loved one as they're dying. You know, doctors shouldn't be making those choices. CDC should not be making those choices. The government should not be making those choices. It should be up to the individual. And I will say, though, that it was like heart-wrenching because it's like we lost our humanity last year.
Right.
You know, basically, and when you can't hold your loved one's hand as they're dying, what kind of world are you living in?
Sure.
You know, and that was interesting for me to live through.
Yeah,
it's weird. We're living in weird times, aren't we?
Yeah, it's like half the country read George Orwell, sorry, and and decided that's how society should be, not as a warning about what society shouldn't be.
Yeah, they're like, oh, this sounds good, let's do it. And it's like 1984 mixed with Idiocracy, in my opinion. I don't know if you've ever seen, and Bubble Boy. Have you seen Bubble Boy?
All three of them, yep, absolutely.
Yeah. It's like those three movies pushed together into one real life version. You know, it's like the Truman Show. I'm wondering if there are cameras somewhere because it's just ridiculous to even believe.
They're watching the simulation for sure.
They are like, are we in the Matrix? You know, we could be.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just really odd. Like I lived through 9/11. I don't know how old were you during 9/11? I know you're a bit older than me.
I was 18. I joined the military right after, like literally months after 9/11. So.
Yeah, you joined the military. I was only 14, 15 when 9/11 happened. And I remember I was, you know, pro-war at first, and then I became anti-war. Because I'm like, this is just dragging on. And then, you know, I found Ron Paul, and I've just been strictly anti-war after that. But, you know, you see what's happening with the, you know, TSA. The TSA is still there. The war in Afghanistan ended. We still have the Patriot Act. We still have the TSA. So now that people are looking at COVID, it's like, are you really believe that they're going to, you know, give any of this power back? If you just look at the TSA, you know, they're not. And that's a big thing that a lot of people don't understand. And they really need to start understanding.
Yeah, they'll never give it back. And that's, you know, I've been really outspoken about that. I made a post on Twitter talking about, okay, war in Afghanistan's over. Can we end the Patriot Act now? And everyone's just laughing because we always knew. I mean, libertarians, libertarians, especially libertarians or for any freedom-based ideology was like, as soon as the Patriot Act got instated, we all knew like that wasn't ever going away. Yeah. Why would they get rid of that? And they conditioned us over a period of 20 years to think that, you know, the TSA's just always been there. Like I remember when I think I was 9 or 10, I went to go live with my aunt and uncle in Georgia for a little bit, and I flew from California. And my mom walked me right up to the terminal, put me right on the plane, came right back out and went home. I flew by myself, but she was able to walk all through the terminals. I don't know if you guys know this. You could walk through the terminals at an airport.
You just walk in and get on your flight.
For years and years. I mean, for decades and decades and decades. It was fine. And then 9/11 happened, and you couldn't do that anymore. And now you get, inappropriately touched at the airport every time you go there.
Yep.
It's wild.
I'm actually just trying to, I just got a new car, and I'm just going to start driving everywhere because I can't stand the airport anymore. I can't. It's like Biden just gave tanks to the Taliban, and you're worried about my shoes at the fucking airport? Right. What's wrong with you people? Right. I mean, hello, you're letting people in unvetted, and it's just like open season. So what are they thinking? And it's the Americans that, are basically having their freedoms stripped away one by one.
Yeah, it's not.
We need to fight that. They're not.
Yeah, it's not like we're like, all right, you know what? We're going to take all the Afghan freedom. It's like, no, we're going to take your freedom. We're going to take your freedoms.
And we're going to give them tanks and helicopters. And I want a Black Hawk. Did you see they got 3 Black Hawks?
I don't want a Black Hawk at all. I know that the Taliban has their own Air Force now, by the way, but have you seen the videos of them flying? They're not going to make it very long. They're not going to make it very long. No, and I don't think people understand Black Hawks are like the most downed aircraft in the American military. And so if anybody's worried about them having Black Hawks, don't fret. They're not going to have them long. I promise you. There's a whole movie about Black Hawks going down. You guys understand this, right?
You got a helicopter on your shirt too.
Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I don't know if that's a Black Hawk though. That's just like some kind of Greyhound or something. I don't know. But so yeah, let's talk about the Afghan War a little bit. I mean, what's been your take on everything that's going on?
Afghanistan needed to end. It really did. And, I'm seeing conservatives and libertarians and, this pullout was horrible, blah, blah, blah. Well, like the last 20 years were horrible and they were badly managed. So is the pullout. It's something we should have expected all along, honestly. And, it could have been better.
That's what she said. Sorry, go ahead.
Government.
Go ahead. I had to do it.
It could have been better. That's what she said. Yeah. Yeah, I've had some of those moments in my life. That's why I have 3 kids. Anyway, yeah. So I mean, yeah, it definitely could have been better, and but it needed to end as well.
Sure.
But a lot of people don't understand too that we're still over there. We're surrounding those areas. We have bases everywhere. And a lot of people are like, well, we ended one war. Well, you know what? It's just for politicians, it's a chessboard. They're going to take, one piece and move it someplace else and reposition themselves.
Oh, no,
that's just how it's going to go.
Yeah.
We're just going to consistently be in these countries over and over again. I forget how many bases we have. Do you know how many bases we have right now?
I think it's 124 now or something like that.
Like 100. Yeah, it's up there. Yeah. It's way up there. So it's like we're everywhere. Yeah. I totally see as the economy starts crashing again, I actually think that we will start another war just so, the Fed and Bernanke and all those people that are just covering their backs in the end. That's what they're going to do.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's how they stimulate the economy. I mean, that's really their whole, like, if you take Henry Hazlitt's like broken window fallacy stuff to its logical conclusion, starting wars is the broken window. I mean, that's what they're doing. They're creating jobs in the military-industrial complex by starting all these wars all the time. I mean, there's tons of other reasons why we're in stupid wars over here. I mean, and none of them are for your liberty or freedom.
No, it's for profiteering, basically. That's what it is. I mean, it's so somebody could buy another mansion in the Potomac. That's definitely what it is. I actually used to work in the Potomac. I used to be a chef. Fun little fact about me, most people don't know that, but I used to work in the Potomac, and oh my god, those houses are huge, and I didn't really understand like who could be living in those houses, and then I learned it's mostly government contracting,
sure,
and contractors, and it's all about war and all that jazz. So it was crazy for me at the time to wrap my head around, but it's just that's basically what it is, and it's a racket. Who was that? Who said that? Smedley Butler.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. What was it?
a racket.
Yeah, war's a racket. Well, and here's the thing, like, you know, they prey on these young kids, right? Like I was just turned 18, you know, right after 9/11, joined the military, took off. I was going to go and fight the evil terrorists that had attacked my countrymen. And within the first, you know, year I was in the military, I was at war. I mean, within the first 6 months, I was in the middle of I wasn't a grunt. I I didn't go and fight on the ground or anything. I was on the USS Constellation, and we were just bombing the shit out of Iraq. I mean, the shock and awe campaign, that was a big part of that. The biggest part of that was my battle group, my carrier, our birds from our deck were leaving, coming back empty all day long. I mean, all day long. You know, I just remember my first thought as a 18, 19-year-old kid was, what the fuck are we doing in Iraq, first of all, right? I was like, didn't we fight a war in Iraq when I was like 6? You know, what the hell's going on here? You know, why are we fighting in Iraq? 9/11 just happened. Are the Taliban here? Is that why you know, it was like I had all these questions, and I started getting them answered while I was there, and then on the way home, and then when I got back, I found Ron Paul, and that was, I mean, that's a window you can't close, right? The Ron Paul window. I mean, you look at, there's a whole generation of people with the same story as me because of Ron Paul opening a window that you once you climb through it, you can't turn around and shut the window because you already know it's there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so. I definitely know there were a lot of veterans for Ron Paul. My kid's dad, he's 6 years older than me, and he served in the United States Air Force for 8 years. So I definitely know that there were a lot of veterans, because back in like 2008, we were in those veterans for Ron Paul circles. So yeah, I mean, definitely Ron Paul. I don't understand it. Wasn't he bashed for something around that time? Like, or somebody was trying to point out that the veterans were for Ron Paul, and somebody was like, no, they're not. They want to continue the wars, blah, blah, blah.
Oh, Ron Paul
it was some hogwash.
Papa
but he
Paul
had
was
like the most. He had the most veteran support
and donors. Yes, individual donors. Yeah.
Individual donors. I remember that.
Well, he was bashed for all kinds of shit because, let's be honest, he was a threat to the establishment. He was a threat to the military industrial complex. He was a threat to the Federal Reserve. He was a threat to the media. He was a threat to all of the people that are bad in this country. I mean, literally, you know, and so when I see people knocking Ron Paul for dumb shit, the newsletters or whatever the fuck it is that you're bashing Ron Paul for, all I can think about is, do you realize the scope of the people who hated Ron Paul and why they hated Ron Paul? They hated Ron Paul because he was a threat to everything that you hate and that is wrong with this country. And you're bashing him for some newsletters that he didn't even write? What's wrong with you? What's wrong with you?
Say that.
Oh, I know who wrote him, and I've said it on the show a few times. So, I mean, it's all speculation, but.
Oh, it's not speculation on my end.
Sure,
I know that.
sure.
But, he definitely didn't write him. And, you know, when it comes to Ron Paul, I think he knew when he was running for president that he wasn't going to win. I think he knew that. And I can't say for sure, but I mean, I really wanted him to win. But, you know, Ron Paul was doing something else with his campaign. He was teaching people. He was teaching people about the Federal Reserve. He was teaching people about the wars. He was teaching people about the debt. And that is something that I think that is missing a little bit, you know, besides like people like the Mises Institute or the Mises Caucus and people like that who are trying to get the message of like abolishing the Fed out there, or trying to get people to read economics in one lesson, all these different things. It was actually Ron Paul that got me to pick up Human Action. I don't have it with me, but yeah,
it's too heavy to carry around with you.
Yeah, it's too heavy. Well, there's a pocket edition. You know, there's a little pocket edition you can order. It's $10. Go order it on Mises.org.
Nice.
But I have this big old blue one. It's bulky, but I love it, and it was highlighted. But you know, it was Ron Paul who really got me going and seeing a better way. And I don't think, you know, there's many like LOL Berts, like, you know, Reason Magazine or whatever, who want to just bash Ron Paul, and it's like, you wouldn't be here without Ron Paul. Well, you know, you guys would be a blip in the internet, you know, circles. Same with Lou Rockwell. Lou Rockwell has helped so many organizations, and he doesn't get the credit he deserves, in my opinion. So yeah, so it's like these guys have basically lifted up libertarians throughout, you know, conservative circles and, you know, progressive circles and everything. So it's like, give them the credit, man.
Sure.
Because they pushed back.
I think none of them would really be what they are without Rothbard. I mean, even the Cato Institute wouldn't be what it is without Rothbard. And we know that because he used to be around them parts.
Yeah. He wasn't just around Cato. He was one of the founders.
Right. He was also one of the founders of the Libertarian Party, if you can believe that.
Yeah.
So, you know.
So, I mean, the guy was just amazing. And, you know, they call him Mr. Libertarian, and I can see why. I have tried to read a lot of Rothbard, but I have come to the conclusion that I can never read all of Rothbard. I mean, I'm 34 now.
There's
I'm about to be 35. There's just so much. Like, it's going to take my lifetime. Patrick Newman is actually doing amazing stuff with Rothbard right now. He's writing a book, and he's just finished a book, and he's working on another one. But he had to take. I saw Rothbard's writing for the first time when I was at the Mises Institute, and it is astounding what Patrick was able to do, because he had to go through and figure out not only Rothbard's handwriting, but Rothbard also wrote in shorthand. I don't know if you know what shorthand is, but it's just like lines and dots and squiggles. So he had to translate all of that, and he did amazing. Nice. So I'm like, I just don't know how he did it though. But you know, Rothbard, it was just like, did he sleep?
I don't know.
I don't think he did.
Or if he was writing in his dreams and then waking up and writing what he dreamt about. Because I mean, the guy just constantly was writing. I mean, I don't think anybody's got as many academics works.
When he wasn't writing, he did the Rothbard circles. Have you ever heard about those?
Yes.
Where he had like people come to his house and stuff. Yeah. I was like,
I mean, technically, that's how the Libertarian Party started. You know, it was just the Rothbard circle, really, in a living room in Colorado.
I was just a baby when Rothbard passed. He passed, I think it was 1993.
Yeah,
he passed. Yep. It was either 93 or 96. So I didn't get a chance to meet him. I'm so jealous of everybody.
That's one of the ones that if I could go back and meet one person, that'd probably be the man that I'd meet. Just because, God, his laugh was infectious.
Laugh alone.
Yeah. It would have been great.
If you ever heard Patrick Newman's laugh too, it's just like Rothbard. So it's like those two. I don't know, past life or something. I don't know. But he sounds like Rothbard. I want
to shout out some of these super chats. Nick Ashley, $5 super chat, man. Thanks a lot. He said, met Natalie at y'all, absolute sweetheart, and she even seemed humble and grateful to meet even little old me. Great lady. State of Dissidence, $5 super chat. Thanks, man. He said, I'm now a Break the Cycle Stonk member and Mises Caucus donor. Let's do this. Thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that for supporting the show. If you know, there's 2 levels to membership on my channel. One of them $6 a month. That'll get you into all the membership stuff. If you pay the $20 a month, I'll collaborate on videos and stuff with you. So hit me up if you want to do some collabs, bro. Joshua Bond, $5. Sure, too. Thanks, brother. Trey Daniel, $10 super chat. Thanks, man. He said, more free burgers and donuts for COVID jabs. It's for your health. Yes. This one, I don't understand this one, so maybe you will. F. Cooper Adamo. Did I ever say that? $5 super chat. He says, I love a good butter and peppered corn on the cob. That is hot stuff. You can get that at a number of different places. What say you, Natalie? Do you know anything about that? Is that something that you know?
I know about that. That was a TikTok video I did. Oh. I was eating corn on the cob. Not the appropriate way.
Oh, geez.
It's not the traditional way, but I'm from Ohio. There's cornfields everywhere. You learn different ways to eat corn on the cob. I'm sorry.
It's not the traditional way.
It's not the traditional way. I mean, do I do anything traditional? I'm a weird girl. I just am.
Now you're from Ohio. You eat the chocolate chili, right? So.
What?
You eat the chocolate chili. You're from Ohio, right?
I do not put chocolate in my chili. We're not.
That's a big thing in Cincinnati.
I'm sorry, I'm from Cleveland. So.
Oh, a little different. From the town. You're from the town. I get it. Hey, I actually like Skyline. I like Skyline. I'm not going to lie. I do like Skyline.
Well, I'm born and raised Cleveland, so I grew up here, so I'm a diehard Browns fan. I'm sorry to anybody else.
I'm sorry for you. You're a Browns fan.
I know, but we have Ohio State too, and they're not so bad.
Yeah, they're pretty good.
We have the Indians, who are now the Guardians, who I'm just going to keep calling the Indians because fuck cancel culture.
Yeah, it's so weird. But the name does make sense as stupid. Some people are like, why would they call themselves the Guardians? But they have the big Guardian statues in Cleveland.
Yes, our Guardian statues. Yeah. That's what people don't get. We have these huge, giant, I think they were made in the 1920s, Guardian statues. I love 1920 architecture. I don't know if anybody else does.
They're really cool, yeah.
It's really cool, and I love it. So, I mean, we have the Guardians, and I get why they call themselves that, but no diehard, born and raised Cleveland, Ohio person is ever going to call them the Guardians. They're going to be the Indians.
Well, I grew up in Oakland. It's really hard to see the Raiders as the Las Vegas Raiders. I'm not a Raiders fan, but it's still hard to see for me.
Yeah, I can't stand this cancel culture BS. And, they're taking away statues and everything, and what else are they doing? Oh, they call me a Nazi all the time. That's how I got the Aryan Barbie.
Aryan Barbie. That's your nickname, yeah.
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 Yeah, you know how I got that? It was because I said, pretty soon they're going to start mandating vaccines. And they're going to mandate vaccines. And, I put it through a step, and then I put like a star with vaccinated on a thing, and it went viral, and people were calling my job, and so many people were upset and mad at me, and I was like, you know what, I'm just going to take the post down. But 6 months later, I was totally right, because they're trying to have vaccine passports, and I'm like, see,
yep.
Usually I make a post and it comes true. I'm sorry, I'm going to stop posting.
Well, I was talking about vaccine passports over a year ago. And I wasn't saying passports. I was saying other shit. I'm sure it was kind of a little crazy. Yeah. I'm kind of like Alex Jones sometimes. You know what I mean? Like the things I talk about, I take them way too far. But there's some real truth behind them. You know what I mean? Like, and so I was talking about them like a year ago. And people were calling me a conspiracy theorist. And so I got your conspiracy.
People calling me a conspiracy theorist, hoping I get COVID and die. Well, you know what? I got COVID and I didn't die.
Oh, rough. Unfortunate for them.
I know.
Well, you and 99.98% of everybody who got it. So
yeah.
I
don't understand that.
Yeah, I was a little worried about it too. I've been a smoker for 20 years, and I'm a little hefty myself. But I'm pretty sure we all had it a couple months back, and everybody's fine. Everybody's just fine. So,
yeah, all my kids had it.
Yeah.
And they all lived. My parents also got it at the same time we did, and actually, though, my dad did struggle a lot. He was in the hospital for 9 days.
Oof.
And we were worried about blood clots and everything. But, eventually he got over it. But, the thing with my dad, too, is he just had major surgery when he caught COVID. He had a knee replacement. So his immune system was already down.
Jacked, yeah.
So that's a lot of things that they just don't talk about is the immune system. Like, can we talk about natural immunity for a second?
Yeah, we should.
Why are we ignoring natural immunity? Why?
Well, I'll never forget.
In my opinion,
6 months ago, the CDC took the natural immunity portion off their website.
Yeah. Why aren't we checking out T cells? Why aren't we checking out antibodies before people get more vaccinations? I actually talked to my immune doctor and I asked, should I get the shot? Even though I'm actually anti-vaccination. That's just my personal beliefs when it comes to me. But I said, do I get it? Do I not? Should I be worried? And she said, you already got COVID. You have the antibodies. I have the response. It showed up in my blood work.
True.
So it's like, why get the vaccination? Why?
What's the point?
There's no point.
Well,
Yeah.
No, you got to get all three. You got to get all three shots, or the woke mob will come after you.
Yeah. Now you have 3 or a booster or whatever. But I don't know if they're recommending that for everybody. Are they?
I don't know. I really don't know. I read that Israel is.
This is just like the flu shot. The flu shot never worked for me.
I've never seen anybody have to get 3 flu shots in 1 year. I don't know about you, but I've never seen that.
I remember it was like 2 flu shots 1 year, but I mean, every time I got the flu shot, I got the flu. Yeah. So, and people were getting COVID with the COVID shot.
You know what's funny?
Shocker.
I almost died from a flu, if you can believe that. In my 20s, yeah, I got H1N1. I got the swine flu. I think it was 2009. No, it was 2008. It was because I remember it was right around, maybe it was 2009. It was right around the time Obama got elected, and we had the H1N1 breakout. And, they didn't shut down the economy. They didn't do any of this shit. And it was killing tons of people. It wasn't like, you know what I mean? The flu season, if you look at the flu season for that year that we had that, epidemic or whatever they want to call it, it was bad. There was a lot of people dying. And I was like a healthy young 20s. I was in the hospital. I was hallucinating. I had terrible, 103, 104 degree fever. It was really bad. And my mom, I don't know if she's in the chat or what, but she had to take me to the hospital one of the days, and it was really bad. And I didn't go around and telling everybody, hey, you need to go and get a flu shot. after that. You know what I mean? Like I didn't do that. I was like, life happens and sickness happens and we need to be.
I don't know. I've had so many horrible things happen in my life. Like I went septic twice for my kidneys when I was a kid. Oof. I had kidney failure. So I'm functioning with half a kidney. I had diverticulitis, what was it, about 3.5, almost 4 years ago now, and I went septic. I almost had resection of my colon. So I was in the hospital over a week for that. And what was the other thing? I'm like, what was the other thing? Oh yeah, I lost my gallbladder. So it's like I had gallbladder failure and they just took it out. But it's like, once you have so many things happen to you in life, you're just kind of like, if I die, I die. Sure. Hopefully I don't die young because I still have young kids and I want to take care of them and make sure they're okay, before I go, hopefully in their 50s or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, it's just basically the best chance of survival is taking care of yourself, eating healthy, exercising, getting fresh air, getting your vitamin D. You need sunshine. And we're just not getting that. So many people are like stuck in their houses afraid that they're not getting the proper amount of vitamin D or anything. So there's so many options here to not be afraid and not be scared. And you know what? If you want the vaccine, get the vaccine. I'm not judging you if you get the vaccine, but don't hate on people who don't want the vaccine. It's all about
go outside, take your pants off, and sun your butthole. Okay, you're gonna get better. Exactly, I promise.
Yeah. Or just tilt your head up to the sun. I mean, that's another option.
Yeah. They say there's you bring in more vitamin D through the butthole somehow. I don't know these weird yoga crunchy moms. They swear by it. So sun your butthole. Get all the vitamin D you need. Natalie, we're getting close to the end of the public stream. I know you have a time crunch, so we're going to get into this members only stream where I'm going to make you talk about all of the best experiences you have with people from the Mises Institute, because that just sounds fun to me. Or maybe on the Ron Paul. I'm sure you've got some great stories. But before we close out the public stream, can you tell my followers where they can follow you, how they can support you, watch you, listen to you, all that great stuff?
Oh, you can find me on Twitter at chichichico1. I'm also on TikTok at the same handle. And also on my Twitter, if you wanted to support, I have a PayPal link in my bio. And also you can actually I have articles on Mises.org as well. If you Google my name, you can find my articles. Some of them are oldish. I haven't been able to write as much as I want to. Because I have 3 kids and I homeschool them, so I'm trying to get back into that, but I have to figure out other things and get other things done first. But I'm hoping more articles come out at the end of this year. So
sure, and
that's it.
Yeah, and you're a great. I know you're a great mom, by the way, because I always see your updates about your oldest son, who's just doing all kinds of awesome shit all the time. And
yeah, my oldest son. Oh my God, the kid's awesome. Like, okay, now I'm gonna tell you a quick story. Do we have time for a quick story?
Yeah, absolutely.
I was a teenage mother. It was on my 19th birthday when I found out I was pregnant with my son. So I was actually pregnant at 18, but I found out at 19. And I actually had, closest friends of mine say I should get an abortion because I'm too young to have a baby. And I didn't. And I am so happy I didn't. It didn't even cross my mind. It was more like I was protective of my baby. I remember grabbing my stomach and just, looking with crazed eyes at these people, like, don't come by me. And so my son and I, we've been through a lot over the years, and he's just turned into this wonderful human. And I can't be more proud of my son. And it does terrify me a little bit that my son is going into this world of like hating on, white boys and men. So I'm kind of protective of him, but at the same time, I want to push him out there and see what he can do. And he's just astounded me every step of the way. I mean, he is about to graduate high school. He's going to college early. He's writing a novel. He can hunt. He's in, several air patrol, and he's doing all of these wonderful, beautiful things that, even I doubted when I was young if I could be a good mom, because I was a teenager. But, for all the young moms out there and everything, and all just regular, moms, you guys will be okay.
Yeah. My favorite thing about your oldest son is that
you.
Yeah, our life's crazy. It's so crazy having 7 kids, and the thought of maybe another one on the way would just be wild, very wild. But I think my favorite thing about your oldest son is the fact that he doesn't like cupcakes, so you made him like, what were those, meatballs or something?
No, it was chicken wings.
Chicken wings.
Okay, so every year for his birthday, he just turned 15. So every year for his birthday, since he was about 10, he hated cake, and he always hated cake. And I was like, well, what do you want? But at 10 years old, he was like, I want chicken wings for my birthday. I don't want cake. So, it's tradition for us to go to like every chicken wing place in our local area and pick up like 10 wings and just have like a chicken taste off. It sounds strange, and
No,
I
it
just
doesn't.
put a candle in the chicken, and I just let him go. I mean, the kid loves meat, so I try to encourage it.
Does not sound weird at all. I envy that. That's a wonderful birthday. I couldn't imagine better. Listen, chicken wings is one of my favorite foods in the world. Okay, so
my daughter gets steak on her birthday. That's her favorite food. So
nice.
Yeah, that is definitely me. I don't know. I don't get anything.
Yeah, my kids all made me a cake. Of course, my fiance, anytime we make any sweets, it's always gluten free. She's got celiacs real bad, and so
I've been eating a lot more meat,
Yeah.
and that it's been helping. It's been making me feel better too. Like I have more energy now,
yeah.
and
She would live off
I
of
just
straight
feel better.
meat if she could. She would just
Yeah.
when I met her, that's all she was eating, steak and stuff. I was like, you got to get some veggies in there, sweetie. You got to get a couple veggies every once in a while.
Once in a while,
Yeah.
have some corn in an appropriate way.
Yeah, we live in Iowa. And when she was pregnant, was during the Iowa sweet corn season. And there's actually a really good barbecue spot here in Pleasant Hill, Oregon, or Iowa. Did I say Oregon? Iowa. And it's called Rolling Smoke, and they're like a little mom and pop spot. And I'm one of those people that like everywhere I go, I try to find the best barbecue because I'm a barbecue like fanatic.
I do that too.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's like it's
I was
very
so mad.
important to me.
I visited Auburn, Alabama this year, because that's where the Mises Institute
Right.
is. So occasionally I'll go down and say hi to them. And Mike and Ed's barbecue was gone, and I was so sad because I don't know if you've ever had Brunswick Stew, but I love Brunswick
Yeah,
Stew.
that's a big thing in Georgia too, the Brunswick Stew. And I
love Brunswick Stew.
I went to the Georgia State Libertarian Convention last year, and I have family that lives in Georgia. I was talking about earlier when I flew to live with them for a little bit when I was 10, and they came and met up with me because it was just about 40 minutes outside of Atlanta, and they weren't far. And so we went to this little barbecue spot kind of in the middle of nowhere in this little downtown area, and it was like some of the best barbecue I'd ever had, and it was in Georgia. And I didn't really think of Georgia as like a barbecue state, but they had Brunswick Stew, and I had never tried it before, and I had it, and I loved it. All my family that lives in Georgia was like, oh God, we hate that stuff. We don't eat it, but it was really good. Like I really liked it. But my favorite barbecue is all in Missouri. It stands that way. Missouri has the best barbecue. North Carolina's up there. Tennessee is up there. Texas, not even close. Sorry, guys. I know everyone hates my takes on Texas barbecue, but you guys do brisket okay. But the rest of it, the ribs
I
are
really
horrible.
visited Texas once, I didn't try their barbecue. I need to go back down.
Great chicken wings. Great chicken wings in Texas.
Yeah.
They got great chicken wings, but their barbecue is just not my thing, man. I don't like it.
Do you know I got lost in Georgia once? I was taking my kids to go see Stone Mountain. I don't know if you've ever been, but I love Stone Mountain. But I got lost on the back roads, and I found this peach stand, and they had the best peach ice cream I've ever tried in my life.
Well, I mean, peaches
This was like
come from
15
Georgia.
years ago, but
They come from Georgia.
I know, I loved it, and that was like my best experience. So sometimes getting lost and finding like the backwoods place is one of the best things you can do in your life.
Drew Hancock's in the chat. This is how we call Drew. This is how I make Drew Hancock chat in the YouTube show. I just talk about Missouri barbecue, and then he pops up and he's like, "You're goddamn right. Kansas City is the in my opinion. I've only had St. Louis ribs. The ribs in St. Louis are really good, but the slathered Kansas City style ribs are just the best rib. I mean, the best ribs in the whole world of all time, ever. But anyways. Natalie, I'm going to end this show so that we can get into the members only stream, and you can give me some stories about Mises Institute fellows and all the great people that you met. If you could just give me like 2 minutes to shut it out, I would appreciate it.
Okay.
Awesome.
Bye.
Thank you. All right, guys, another awesome show. Break the Cycle. Natalie is so awesome. Definitely go follow her. She's got some really base takes on Twitter, and she does a lot of really cool things and posts family stuff like I do sometimes, wholesome family stuff. You guys, half of you guys only follow me for the wholesome family stuff, I'm sure. But let's check out some sponsors, guys. Please go check out toplobster.com. The man, the myth, the legend, my good friend and partner on Break the Cycle. I think we're going to start doing more regular shows, Top Lobster and I together. He's going to be like my Robbie the Fire Bernstein. I think hopefully he has some time for that, but I'm really excited about that because we always have a good energy together. But go check out his store, man. He's got great gear. Some of the best out there, and you can get a 10% discount by using BTC at checkout, or join the Patreon, subscribe star, become a member of the YouTube channel here, and you get into a private Discord server where you get all of his new gear up to 2 weeks early at like a 30% discount. It's really worth it. Like, honestly, if you're one of the smaller tiers supporting Break the Cycle, you get that discount. If you're buying Top Lobster stuff, it really pays for itself. So go check it out if you can. And of course, Anthem Planning, executive producers of the show for all your emergency and crisis planning needs. Check them out today. See what they can do for your business, home, or personal life. These people are doing a wonderful job that the government has historically sucked at, much cheaper and much more efficiently. Guys, coming up on the show tomorrow, my good friend Dave Casey from Dave vs. Goliath returns to the show. I'm very excited. He is Mr. Conspiracy Theory. I love him to death. This will be his third time being on the show, so definitely check that out. On Thursday, this crazy ass-eating trucker Quincy is going to be on my show. I'm super excited. He has told me that he is not going to hold back whatsoever. It's going to be wild, I promise you. Definitely going to want to check that out. And then Friday's show, Scott Horton and Michael Bolden on the same podcast. It's going to be perfect. It's going to be perfect. I'm so excited. I don't know what made me think in my head that those two gentlemen needed to be on the same podcast, but I know I was right, and it's going to be fun. You're not going to want to miss that show. Guys, I will see you tomorrow for the show with my friend Dave Casey, but until then, don't forget to break the cycle.
Have to explain the lyrics of my last song may seem to contain a violent call to action in the verse and refrain, but I just meant it in Minecraft. The helicopter part was in reference to GTA 5 and the things you do. So any violence you commit, I am not an excuse, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Well, Chipper is my friend and he's constantly cold. Accusations of incitement getting totally old. Make your own choices, yeah, you have control, because I just meant it in Minecraft. Obviously I would never advocate force, unless there's due process and a trial, of course. And if you're convicted, we will make you a corpse in Minecraft, just in Minecraft. Nothing I mean, you know it. No product finished cause it closed from COVID. Holy shit, I think I'm a pro.